Star Trek has a new Khan, but he's in Section 31. Star Trek Section 31 introduced a new genetically enhanced character like Star Trek. The original series augment tyrant Khan Noonien Singh, Ricardo Montalban. The latest entry in the Star Trek film franchise. Section 31 centers on Michelle Yeoh's Emperor Philippa Georgiou as she gets caught up in a search for a dangerous weapon with ties to her past. When Starfleet's Black Ops organization, known as Section 31, sends their Alpha team to contact Georgiou, the former Emperor immediately clocks their appearance in her nightclub. After Emperor Georgiou correctly points out every member of Section 31, Alok Sahar, Omari Hardwick, brings her in on their plan. Unimpressed, Georgiou proposes her own plan, which likely would have worked if a mysterious masked assailant hadn't barged in to steal the weapon out from under her. Later, Alok takes his team to a safe house, where he questions Georgiou about the weapon. Before Georgiou reveals what she knows, however, she demands to know more about Alok, needing to understand exactly who she's dealing with. Section 31's Alok origin and how it relates to Khan explained. Star Trek Section 31's Alok Sahar reveals that he was actually born on Earth in the 1970s and fought in the eugenics wars after his parents were killed. Alok was one of the few humans who fought against the augments, but he was ultimately captured by a powerful augment tyrant called Jiri the Market. Although she killed his friends, Jiri kept Alok alive and transformed him into an augment. She then forced him to fight alongside her, during which time he committed numerous atrocities. After the eugenics wars ended, Alok was exiled to outer space along with the other augments and spent centuries in suspended animation. First introduced in Star Trek, the original series Season 1, Episode 22, Space Seed, Khan Noonien Singh was the most powerful of the genetically enhanced tyrants who rose to power just before the eugenics wars. Khan and many of his fellow augments were created by human scientists who were trying to improve the human race. Khan ruled over a large area of Earth before the wars and later escaped imprisonment with his followers aboard the SS Botany Bay, where he also spent centuries in suspended animation. Khan was later awakened by Captain James T. Kirk, William Shatner, and the U.S. Enterprise in 2267. Alok is an augment, but he's not like Khan. Alok may be an augment, but he bears little resemblance to Khan Noonien Singh. Khan was a power-hungry tyrant who cared little for individual liberties and felt no remorse for his actions. After Kirk awakened Khan, the former tyrant immediately tried to take over the Starship Enterprise. Khan had no reservations about killing Kirk and anyone else who stood in his way. Although little is known about Khan's early life, he was created by scientists and likely raised in a laboratory setting. Alok, on the other hand, grew up as a regular human child, presumably with a family who cared for him. As Alok reveals his past to Georgiou, he admits that he did terrible things for Jiri the Marked, but he feels genuine remorse for his actions. He refers to Jiri as a monster and has no admiration for the augments who once ruled Earth. Although Alok should have enhanced strength and reflexes, he does not appear to use them much throughout Star Trek, Section 31. This suggests that, unlike Khan, Alok does not revel in his abilities, and most importantly, he does not consider himself to be above everyone else. How Alok's Star Trek timeline compares to Khan. Star Trek Section 31 does not reveal whether or not Alok knew Khan, but he must have heard of the supposed greatest of the augments. It also remains unknown when exactly Alok awoke from his suspended animation, but it must have been after Khan. The Enterprise first encountered Khan in 2267, after which the tyrant and his people were exiled to Ceti Alpha V. Khan, returned several years later in Star Trek II. The Wrath of Khan, to get his revenge on Kirk and the Enterprise crew. Kirk managed to kill Khan in 2285, bringing an end to one of the most formidable adversaries he ever faced. Star Trek Section 31 further complicates the eugenics wars timeline. After Star Trek, Strange New Worlds revealed a young Khan Noonien Singh was alive in 2022. Star Trek Section 31 takes place in 2324, meaning Khan and his followers are long dead. It's possible there could be other augments alive in the early 24th century, as Alok was likely not alone when he was exiled. If, like Khan, Alok was on a ship with other sleeping augments, there could be numerous others around, perhaps also working with Starfleet and / or Section 31. It remains to be seen if Star Trek will tell any more of Alok Sahar's story, despite the many questions raised by his backstory in Star Trek Section 31.